Please, this would be so much fun. Something that's just completely wacky and out there right before the final. Oh, I love that she loves it. It's so great. The showmanship. Wow. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ben, and today I'll be reacting to Avatar: The Last Airbender Season 3, Episode 17. Now, this is the final episode before the final, so I'm not sure what to expect with this at all. Literally, it feels like everyone is sort of ready. I mean, the last episode, it kind of set up that Aang doesn't know what to do, really, with the Fire Lord, and it set that up right before the end. So I don't know if that's going to be something they go into in what... Will he kill him? What? I mean, he kind of has to, so... And he hasn't really thought about that yet. It's so last minute, and I don't know how they're going to work around that. That's like the main thing on my mind at the minute. All the other characters feel like they're done. They're ready. They're basically ready to go. We had so much on Zuko. He's just arced out. Sokka, Katara, amazing. We got Suki back. Toph, I think she was just introduced ready to go. So I don't know what to expect with this episode. It's the one before everything kicks off, and I just cannot wait, really. Yeah, as always, if you do enjoy this video, please remember to like and subscribe, as it really does help the channel to grow. And if you do enjoy my content and you want to help support the channel, I do have a Patreon, the link will be in the description. Over there, I'm uploading these videos and the full reaction a week in advance. If that's something you're interested in, feel free to check it out. With that said, let's just dive on in. Awesome training, but are they on Ember Island? They last episode they just dealt with
Kind of weird that we're hiding
Bloodbending
from the Fire Lord in his own house.
I told you, my father hasn't come here since our family was actually happy.
That's a pretty good place to hide then. Wow.
It's the last place anyone would think to look for us.
But wouldn't Azula might think to come here, considering you've been here recently?
Tannen, we found this poster. What? How is that possible?
Is that the same poster that of the show?
Sources include singing nomads, pirates, prisoners of war, and a surprisingly knowledgeable merchant of cabbage.
Okay, that's a lot of sources then, and they're all pretty accurate. Okay, so they've done their research.
Think it's a good idea for us to attend a play about ourselves?
Please, this would be so much fun.
This is the kind of wacky, time-wasting nonsense I've been missing.
Please do this before the final. It'd be so funny. Something that's just completely wacky and out there right before the final. Oh.
I wanted to sit there.
Just sit next to me. What's the big deal?
You wanted to sit next to Katara? Okay. So Zuko getting in the way. Good production value.
We constantly roam these icy South Pole seas, and yet never do we find anything fulfilling.
Bit dramatic.
All I want is a full feeling in my stomach. I'm starving.
At least they got the sort of comic relief, but very, very just surface level, isn't it? There's not anything going on underneath those characters.
And into my mouth. I'm starving.
It's not even comic relief, it's just him being hungry.
Still, we cannot give up hope, for hope is all we have.
He's just very sappy at the minute. Is that what the sources have seen from Katara?
It appears to be someone frozen in ice.
I'm honestly loving the style of just recapping the story and just as a play sort of thing. It feels like a pantomime.
Waterbend! Hi-ya!
That's their interpretation of waterbending. Yeah, of course he doesn't like it. That's fine. That's what's done in pantomimes.
I'm the Avatar, silly, here to spread joy and fun. Is that a woman playing me?
Honestly, don't mind. It's not that bad. That's terrifying, though. That is horrifying. That is nothing like Appa.
My heart is so full of hope that it's making me tear bend.
Okay, no, I can't stand the Katara.
That it's making me tear bend.
I gotta remember, this is also done by the Fire Nation, so it's not gonna be like, it's not gonna paint them in a good light. But so far they've gotten the Avatar, at least in a positive setting.
Did I mention that I'm an incurable prankster?
Trying to figure out, is this meant to be propaganda or is this like accurate? Are they trying to make it accurate and failing, or are they trying to make it stupid to be propaganda?
I don't have time to stuff my face. I must.
That's a Zuko costume.
They make me look totally stiff and humorless.
Actually, I think that actor's pretty spot on.
Honestly, again, it's very much they captured the very surface level of the characters. It's got tiny bits of accuracy, but without any of the depth.
It's a flying rabbit monkey. I think I'll
Really?
name him Momo.
How do they know about this? They were the only ones there. How do they get information on that? How do they get information on the start of it anyway? It was only Aang, Sokka, and Katara.
Does this dress make my butt look fat?
At least Suki's laughing at it.
Riddles and challenges must you face if you are ever to leave this place.
At least they got Boomy accurate. This is a really fun retelling. Yep, they just get away when everyone's fighting themselves.
It just gave me so much hope.
Okay, I love that they're all being so annoyed with their like character interpretation, because this is only season 1, isn't it? I don't know how much time they've just done. There's so much. They could have just stuck with like the major points, but it feels like they're going over every episode.
Yeah, to save the Avatar.
Oh, did they not know that the Blue Spirit is Zuko then? Because they're playing by 2 different characters. That's quite a cool detail. Oh, I love this so much. They're even doing Jet. How do they know about all of this?
Oh, Jet, you're so bad.
Oh, this is so much fun.
It's the Great Divide, the biggest canyon in the Earth Kingdom.
They really are doing every episode.
Let's keep flying.
They just went over that episode. Oh, this is so much fun. Is it just the writers making like jokes over their own episodes? Like the Great Divide, just brushing over that.
I have important moon duties to take care of. You never told me you made out with the moon spirit.
I'm trying to walk.
Oh, I love this so much. It's just them seeing their memories of everything. So far, it's actually pretty good. It's not like painted in a different way. It's painted pretty accurately. Like even this, saying the Avatar's here to save the day, is done in a positive perspective. Fire Nation isn't trying to paint them as evil or the bad guys yet to their own like citizens. Oh, did they only do season 1?
So far, this intermission is the best part of
Oh, Furious only intermission. I want so much more of this.
You tell bad jokes about plenty of other topics.
I know.
He's just angry about it, just being solely focused on food. Give him some more.
You are more in touch with your feminine side than most guys. Relax. It's not like I'm a preachy crybaby who can't resist giving over-emotional speeches about hope all the time.
It's kind of close.
What? Yeah, that's not you at all. I know it must hurt, but what you're seeing up there on that stage is the truth.
They've got to do Toph. I want to see what they do for Toph.
I better have a look around to see if I can find an earthbender.
Please, what are they going to do for her? What are they going to do for her? Please, please, say they didn't forget about her or anything, please.
Here it comes.
Come on.
You can't find an earthbending master in the sky. You have to look underground. My name's Tough, because it sounds like tough.
Oh, correct.
I sound like a guy.
What's she going to think?
What you hear up there is the truth. It hurts, doesn't it?
She loves it.
I wouldn't have cast it any other way. At least it's not a flying bald lady.
Oh, I love that she loves it. It's so great.
I release a sonic wave from my mouth.
What? So like a, oh dear, echolocation.
There. I got a pretty good look at you.
It's so random. This makes me so happy.
It's time we had a talk about your hair. It's gone too far.
Oh dear me.
My sister, what are you?
What have they done for the? Oh, what have they done for Azula?
Wait! What's that? I think it's your honor.
She escaped, but how?
I love these jokes so much. It's so much fun. I mean, it really is a testament to the writers that they can like look through how they're amazing episodes and like turn them into this really comical style and just make fun of them a little bit. Just throwing tiny rocks.
No, Jet! What did they do to you?
Why are they giving him hook hands?
Must destroy!
Okay, this is odd. Very weird interpretation.
Did Jet just die?
You know, it was really unclear.
They're making jokes about that. I think it is clear. Yeah, he's dead. But yeah, they left it very unclear.
I've had eyes for you since the day you first captured.
But even during the Zuko Katara ship thing,
I certainly don't think of him in a romantic way.
I don't think this is true. Oh,
How
please.
could he ever find out about this?
Is this not just like a fun episode? Is it actually going to do something with the characters? Is it calling into question Aang's relationship with Katara? This is amazing. It's doing so much.
Your nation or a life of treachery?
I love the hair. It's so over the top. It's awesome.
I hate you.
Season 2 final?
You didn't really say that, did you?
Of course not.
I might as well have.
But, it was kind of close, but yeah. It was done in a more serious way. Oh, I love how they're doing this. That's an interpretation of Ty Lee. And I guess it wouldn't be that accurate now because they're like traitors now. Or are they trying to show? Do they know that?
Avatar's Day! Yep, yep!
The showmanship! Wow! This is so cool! Oh wait, how are they going to do lightning?
Lightning can help it.
Bit underwhelming there. The rest of it looks awesome. It feels like a real pantomime. This is so good.
Tar is no more.
Is that where it ends? Have they gotten season 3?
Seems like every time there's a big battle, you guys barely make it out alive. I mean, you guys lose a lot.
Accurate.
Didn't Azula take you captive? That's right, she did.
You're perfect for each other.
Does anyone know where Aang is?
Did he not come back for the season 2 final? He missed it. Oh. See, is this actually developing Aang and Katara's relationship through this weird, wacky recap of everything?
Overreacting? If I hadn't blocked my chakra, I'd probably be in the Avatar state right now.
Yeah, that's a good callback, yeah. They have costumes.
I got some jokes I want to give to the actor me.
Elite warrior who's trained for many years in the art.
So intense.
I think I could get you backstage.
I love it so much. Please tell me she's like with the main group now. Yeah, I know it's late, but keep her with the main group.
It's different for you. You get a muscly version of yourself taking down 10.
That's how Toph sees herself, isn't it?
It takes all the mistakes I've made in my life and shoves them back in my face.
Yeah, this is your life. It's just showing you what your life is. I mean, it's pretty accurate, so of course you're not going to like it.
It's my greatest regret, and I may never get to redeem myself.
You better. You better reunite with your uncle.
Because I once had a long conversation with the guy, and all he would talk about was you.
Oh, I love this so much. This isn't just a wacky episode, it's actually really good. Like, not just, like, development-wise, not just a wacky recap.
All your uncle wanted was for you to find your own path and see the light.
Oh.
Now you're here with us.
He would be, but I need them to be reunited, not just, like, in spirit or whatever this is.
Your Zuko costume's pretty good, but your scar's on the wrong side.
The scar's not on the wrong side!
Put the hood back up! Okay, that's a pretty good way to not be recognised then. Didn't even notice that they had the scar alongside though.
I'm a big Sokka fan, but I don't think you're representing him quite as well as you could be.
Another fan with ideas.
What do the actors think of like the actual people that they're portraying? Because they're Fire Nation. What do they think?
What does the cabbage merchant use to fix his cabbages? A cabbage patch!
That's actually pretty good.
Of course you like it, great.
You mean what you said in there?
What are you talking about?
On stage. When you said I was just like a...
She didn't say that. Oh, Aang.
We kissed at the invasion, and I thought we were gonna be together.
We're gonna get this defined, what their relationship is.
I don't know.
Why don't you know?
She did look, she looked, yeah, she looked uncertain when the kiss happened, so they're actually doing this.
I'm sorry, but right now I'm just a little confused.
That's not...
I just said I was confused.
Yeah, no, bad Aang. He needs time. She doesn't know what to think at the minute.
Ugh, I'm such an idiot.
Oh, I mean, I feel bad. I feel so bad for Aang.
And Katara was the painted lady, and I got a sword, and I think Combustion Man died.
Oh, so we're not going to see any of that? Oh, and I think Combustion Man died. So again, not defined.
I just want to let you know, Aang, that I'll always love you.
Perfect timing.
Like a brother.
Oh,
I wouldn't want it any other way.
dear me. I love how they're showing the flying as well. Of course. Is this going to make Katara think about the relationship, just seeing how it's portrayed here?
Aang have a rocky relationship?
But it was brought out of nowhere. It makes no sense.
Everyone's ready for the invasion. Slap a pow!
Even the other actors don't look like they... Oh, dear. I love how awkward this feels.
Finally made it to the royal palace, but no one's home.
So they're doing season 3 now.
And I want to join you.
They changed the hair again.
I guess we have no choice. Come on!
I guess that's it. The play's caught up to the present now.
Yeah.
The play's not over.
They're adding an ending?
Unless this is the future.
Oh, Sokka. No, they made it up. Is that meant to make the Fire Lord look good?
They're trying to stop you.
You take care of Zuko.
I mean, it looks scary, yeah, but is that really what they want the Fire people, the Fire citizens to think of their leader?
You find the Fire Lord. I'll hold her off.
I wonder how much of this is actually going to happen, or is it just the writer's head? It's like the plan for the final. I love this so much, how they're showing off the powers. Of course, they put the biggest budget into Firebending because it's the Fire Nation. Oh, that's so much fun. Oh, he died? Here's the propaganda. They were just looking at him. Okay, so that's how Zuko, they think Zuko's gonna die. Azula will fight him.
And now you're going down.
No, it is you who are going down.
How are they gonna show this?
The comet is already here, and I'm unstoppable.
I love how they've animated all these actors. It's so over the top. Even the air is so great. Oh, they're showing so many details with like the wire works, the weird like paper. No. And dead. Pretty good ending. Well, like At least it's dramatic.
We've done it.
Yes, we have done it.
Yeah, but you did it with fire, so that means the Avatar could be brought back again, or will be reborn.
The world is mine.
And they will love it. Okay. And you're horrified. Yep, this is what you've got to deal with. At least now they know the stakes and they can understand what's. They got to visually see what could happen if they fail. What other heroes get that?
But the effects were decent.
Yep. Oh, ending? No, I wanted more. Okay, that's got to be one of the funniest episodes that they've done. And I feel like that's got to be one of the ones they put the most effort into, just from how they've accurately presented, I guess, a pantomime, like the play, the wire work, showing how they've done the effects. Everything was just amazing. Even the expressions on the actors, it felt so good. And I love that this basically served as a recap before the final, getting the characters to see everything they've been through in a wacky way, but it still was pretty accurate. I'm not going to delve into how they know certain parts, because there's no way they would have known like how the Avatar World Cup, because only 3 people were there. But not going to look into that, because I think it's just still funny. But I love that the writers basically made jokes about their own episodes. I think the best one is probably The Great Divide. I think that one was kind of good, but it's definitely filler. And I love that they basically just brushed past it here. That's so good. But even when the deaths that they leave ambiguous, they even state that it's not that well defined, so love that. And I love how they've displayed the characters, and they've basically taken their surface level traits and basically put that there and not gone through any of the depth that they have. So, because that's basically how you could view the characters that we have if you don't understand them like that well. Katara would come off as very preachy and doing a lot of speeches and that sort of hope sort of character. Aang feels like the bubbly, go-happy sort of child that just jumps around. Sokka, the funny person. Toph, basically a strong man. I love that that's how they've been presented here. And when you look at the show more, you get to see a deeper understanding of them. And now I guess you've got to see the characters, see themselves and their like surface level traits. Also love what this did for Zuko and just seeing how he got to, because all the others they got to see their journey to this point. Zuko got to see his worst memories, everything he's been through. He got to see how, because that's the weirdest interpretation, because all of the others would have been taken from sources, where Zuko is the bias of the Fire Nation shoved in there. So that adds into their perspective of him. And I just love what he took from it and how he's seen everything, because yeah, that's such a good thing to think about. Yeah, because he does feel sorry for what he's done to his uncle, but now he's actually got to see every moment that he was kind of mean to his uncle, even though Iroh was trying to help him constantly. And I guess that we didn't see how much Iroh was trying to help him in the play, so I don't know how much the play showed off Iroh helping Zuko, so I don't know how much he saw. But I'm going with it probably showed that Zuko ignored a lot of Iroh's attempts to help him, even though I was kind of portrayed as just another comedic relief in this. But I love that Zuko took away from this, that he got to see how much he did do to Iroh, and it shows how far he's come. That he's seen this and realised how horrible he was. It shows the difference between him then and now. Yeah, but then the best bit is probably just seeing how Toph is presented. And I love that she loves it too. All the others hated how it was shown, but Toph loves it. It's something so different. And I guess it does the stereotypical sort of powerful person, and that's kind of how Toph sees herself. I mean, it's a cool trope having like the tiny child who'd be the just giant powerhouse to the giant muscular guy who it's just a fun portrayal, and I think I love that she loves it. But yeah, and the other interesting thing this did is that it caught up back with the whole relationships, because I know that there's the whole Zuko and Katara shippers, but the show clearly is skewed far more towards Aang and Katara. I think that relationship works more than what we've had, but again, I do think Zuko and Katara's relationship would work. But that's kind of just like they're closer in age, so it feels they're both teenagers rather than Aang being 12. But it's still the age difference isn't that much between them. And I personally am just going for Aang and Katara since that's what the story has presented. But I can see how Zuko and Katara would be convincing, and I like that this episode just played into all of it, and that they did define and do something deep with development with Katara and Aang. So it wasn't just a wacky recap; it actually did something there with their relationship, got it defined, and show that it's in a messy spot. Katara needs to think about it. They haven't talked about it since the invasion. They've had something go on there, but it is just awkward, and Katara needs to understand what their relationship is. Is it a brother and sister relationship? Is it actually she feels love for him? I think that was just perfectly but blended into this episode so well, being such a comical thing, and then just adding that in worked so well. And then the ending, having it show off what the Fire Nation or the writer believes will happen in the end. I'd assume the Fire Nation government had a lot to do with this play because it's a very oppressive nation, so they probably put their own perspective on how it is. But I really want to know how much this is going to play into how the final will take place. Will it be like Azula versus Zuko? Will it be... Because, it kind of makes sense. Ozai has to fight Aang. Zuko's already said that he's not going to fight his father. That's Aang's job. So I guess Zuko would pair up with Azula. So I love that this basically gave the characters an insight into how the final is going to play out. Of course, it showed them dying because it was made by the Fire Nation. They're not going to show themselves losing. But it's kind of a testament to them that they, played it off pretty unbiasedly until the end. So they didn't paint the avatars like the villain throughout the whole thing. They showed them as kind of good, and they let people get attached to them. You even had a child running around in an avatar costume. They didn't paint them as a villain, and that's really good of them, but they still managed to make the Fire Nation look good. But I think this is a perfect episode to go into the final now. This captured the levity of Avatar, and it showed off, and it managed to do it so well. Just seeing the fun side of this show going into what I would assume... We've seen the other two finals of the show. I know that the final is just going to be above and beyond in all scale, grandeur, epicness. I don't know. Season 1 final, they dealt with giant moon and water monsters and stuff. Ba Sing Se, the fall of the nation, just dealing with all of that. I know that whatever the final is, I'm hoping it goes above and beyond. I believe it's going to go above and beyond. I think it's going to go above. Yeah, it's going to do great. So having this before that, I think is just going to be incredible, just tonally. But I love that they gave a mini preview here just to see where the final will start, just being with the fighting situation, and then what the Fire Lord thinks is going to happen, and just getting to see the comet and all that stuff. It's going to be so fun with what they do for the final. I cannot wait for it now. There's been such a good episode to go into it with. Okay, I'm going to have to start organising my favourite episodes now, because this is by far my favourite, funniest episode, the light side of it. Of course, I think there's just the tones. I have favourite, more serious episodes, like Katara's one last episode, that was amazing, but this has got to be my favourite funny episode. It was just so good. I love how much the writers sort of made fun of themselves with the Great Divide episode and just brushing past that, how much fun they had with the characters, and just displaying a pantomime. It feels like there were so many details and just getting the feel of that right, the ropes, the effects, the way the actors were portrayed. It was so much fun. I think I'm just really fascinated by the level of detail they put into this. It's the ropes, and the way they animated all of it, it felt like a pantomime, and it was just done so well. I love how it displayed all the characters, showing them off in their very much surface level traits without the deep stuff that we know them as. It's such a cool thing to think about, having the main characters see themselves in their most basic qualities. Sokka being comedic, Aang being just happy and fun, Katara being the hopeful one, Toph just being the super strong thing, Zuko being kind of evil. All of it was just done so well. And I just think it's so fascinating that they actually showed it to the main characters. They got to see themselves portrayed like this. And it's such a good way to show how far they've come and how deeper they actually are. This episode is just so good. I think you probably talk about everything this did for hours, just how much little details were subtly put in here. Just how it came off so funny, but I think there's so much more deep stuff going on here. So yeah, then just looking closer at the characters, because I like that this episode did develop some, but it also just let it be really funny. It was so well balanced. So Aang, we got to see him be betrayed by a woman, which is classic pantomime stuff. That was done in Shakespeare time. That's not a big deal. That's what's always done, where they mess up which gender's playing which role. Because I think that's basically done. So, because it provides a good challenge for an actor, having to portray the opposite sex. It's quite an interesting way of to do it. And I think Shakespeare was quite a genius in doing that. It was very easy for I guess a guy to play a guy doing another job or that sort of thing, but to play the opposite gender, that's a very interesting challenge for I think any actor. So I love that it was portrayed here, and of course, Aang being a kid wouldn't like it because it's not him, it's not presented well. He's you see all the others being presented at least similar to them in appearance, and then Aang gets the most different thing that he wouldn't see coming. So it makes sense that he's objecting to it. And the character captured his base level qualities very well, just being very happy, moving a lot, and just being his bubbly self. But it also displayed the relationship between him and Katara. That is probably the most interesting development-wise thing this episode did, because it defined where they are. They keep doing this thing. They keep doing stuff with their relationship and then just leaving it and it's done quite well in just keeping you hanging to see what's actually going to happen with it. Because first episode, Aang had a crush on Katara back in the iceberg and that whole thing. Then you had the fortune teller basically confirm that they're going to end up together. Then it felt like there was a big break, and then we had the invasion where they kissed, and they got to do something there. And I remember Katara's face, she seemed uncertain and unsure about it. Love that detail and how it was actually brought back, and it's not just nothing face, there was actually an emotion there, and it's actually gotten explored here. So she's unsure, she doesn't know what to think, and I'm assuming the play is pretty accurate. She does not know whether or not to think of Aang as a brother or as someone that she could love. And that pretty much defines their relationship. They're basically a family at this point. It's whether or not you see him as a brother or as a partner. And that is what she is currently considering. Like Aang, we know where he is with his relationship. It's where Katara's at with hers. And I like that this basically portrayed Aang being very hurt by how the play presented it. Because, again, that goes to show that it's not capturing everything. It's capturing the very surface level stuff, showing them as a family, but not the deeper relationships that are involved here. When Aang tries to, talk to Katara more, he's very open with what he wants the relationship to be. And it's quite sad, I guess, where he's at, where Katara is. You can understand both characters very well. Katara doesn't know what to do, but Aang is he's out there. All of his emotions and all of his self is out there, and it's just, he's got to wait for Katara to make a decision. And that's got to be so, so painful. But yeah, I guess this episode didn't do much with what it left off in the last episode, where he's got to decide what to do with the Fire Lord. If anything, it showed that the Fire Lord is going to want to kill Aang. That's pretty much where this is going to go. So Aang now knows that a peaceful solution probably isn't that likely, and the Fire Lord is going to try and kill him. So that, at least he got that from this episode. Now whether or not that's going to tie into what he wants to try and do to end this war is going to be very weird to think about. Like, he doesn't want to take a life, and I don't think I feel like he's taken a life before. He killed the bugs in the desert, and he was probably going in the Avatar state, but the Avatar state's not available at the minute. If he got the Avatar state back, I think that thing would take over, but right now he is in control, and he doesn't want to kill anyone. So it's a very interesting thing to try and get through. I like this episode. Basically set up that the Fire Lord's going to try and kill him. Now Aang needs to decide, what is he going to do? Is he going to try and defend himself? And if that means killing the Fire Lord, is he okay with it? And I guess looking more at Katara, we got to see the relationship, but we got to see her being a sappy actress, and that's what is presented in the play. I like that she objects to it, but everyone else can recognise that quality in her. It's not showing her mother side, it's not showing that she is a child that's had to be forced to mature very quickly. Again, it's just very surface level details of the characters. But I don't think she was portrayed in a negative way. It's like a fun thing to think about with the Fire Nation, that this wasn't really done. It was done to propaganda towards the end, but for most of it, it was shown pretty accurately, just with a little information. So it got the base level stuff where it got to show her as being hopeful and kind of sappy and doing speeches. That is still a positive thing. It might be a little bit annoying, but overall, it's not that bad. Yeah, of course, Katara didn't like it, because of course, no one would like to see themselves presented that way when there's so much more going on with them. But again, just looking at the relationship between her and Aang, so looking at Katara's side of things, she is unsure of what to do, and so now we're coming to the final, so she's going to have to figure out this relationship fast. So it'll probably come down to maybe Aang, it will be life and death, because the Fire Lord wants to kill Aang, so it's going to be whether or not she wants to figure out that relationship before he might be dead. So that's where that will hopefully come into it. But it's a very interesting thing to think about, just with how because she's going to be looking at this play, and it did get things right, and it's just interesting to think that the characters saw themselves. It's so hard to think about, because she saw her emotions with Jet. So she's seen how she's acted towards Jet. That's very defined crush, more love, emotions there. And then it got to show how she's acted towards Aang. She's never acted towards Aang in a crush sort of way, not in a love sense. But does that mean she's never actually shown actual love and affection to someone? Because crush isn't really love, it's what you think love is. So that is what Jet's whole thing was displaying. So I'll be interested to see. Because, yeah, it's whether or not she sees Aang the same way she sees Sokka. Sokka is a brother. Does she see Aang the same way? And that'll be very interesting to see during the final. Then we've got Zuko. Love what they did with him. Just going back through his past, seeing all the terrible things he did. I like the detail that the Fire Nation don't know that he was the Blue Spirit. That I really love that. I think it's only Zhao and Iroh that know. So I love that the Fire Nation just don't know, and that he's just seen as an off person, yet they don't blame Zuko for it. So that's kind of a positive. He got to see all of his past, very bad actions against Iroh, and he got to have that heart-to-heart with Toph, where he's talking about all these bad things that he's done, but Toph being the wonderful character that she is, had a conversation with Iroh where he just talks about wanting Zuko to be good and in the light and find a better path. Now he's done that. So at least Zuko now has the confirmation that what he's done is the right decision and it would make Iroh proud. I love that so much. That better not be the end, though. I want them to have an actual physical reunion. It works. They're in a better spot, and now I guess Zuko can kind of forgive himself a little bit, considering that now he knows that Iroh would be proud of him. That's fine, I guess. But I just need a reunion. That better happen in the final. Yeah, we still haven't seen what Iroh's up to, and it's just getting annoying because last time we saw him was the invasion. He escaped prison, and that was it. I haven't seen him since. I need their reunion. Yeah, then I guess looking at Sokka and Suki, that was another fun little look into everything. Showed Sokka being a comic, well, not even comic relief, just being hungry. That was basically it. It was the very much surface level stuff, and then even more surface level on top of that. Because I think Sokka as a character, easiest definition, without looking deeply, is the comic relief of the show. That's his very much deconstructed, tiniest aspect of his character that's the most vocal part of him. Looking deeper, he's got so much more going on. I think I love the whole thing about his parental relationships where he can't remember his mother's face, that link to Katara, all of that stuff. He's a very deep and interesting character. Again, looking very tiny aspect of his character that's the most vocal, comedy. This play took it a step further and just took it down to him being hungry. And I really love that. So that means everyone that he's met has basically just thought of him as the hungry guy. Not even the funny guy, the hungry guy. But yeah, then I guess outside of the play, I love this just showing off Suki and Sokka's relationship. Them just being a perfect match for each other, just being fun and helping each other. And intensity, they bounce off each other so well. I hope that Suki is fully in the group now. I hope that isn't just she is Sokka's girlfriend in the group. I hope that she is an actual fully member of the group. I want her to be part of the final. It feels like she is now, considering she is on Ember Island and in this place and with them. But I guess I just wanted to get another moment where it is stand out. Suki is just as much as a member of the group as anyone else, and she isn't just there because she's Sokka's girlfriend. And Toph, I think probably one of the best parts of this episode. Love that she loved how she was presented. Being the strong, tough guy. I think someone told me that might have been the original concept art for her, to have the Earth Nation Master be this just strong, tough guy, like a boulder sort of thing. And yet they twisted it and changed it into Toph, who is 10 times better, because it's just a really fun trope having the small child be this unbelievably powerful character done in a really interesting way. But I love that if that is a callback to the concept of Toph just being a tough guy, it's so simple, and yet it works so well for Toph that she actually loves it. I mean, it's interesting to look at with Toph as well, because I feel like she's one of the characters that she's developed, but not as much as the rest of them. The rest have a bunch of other stories going on with them, but Toph's main thing is her parents. That's her story. The others have family issues, they've got other relationships. Toph, it's her parents. That wasn't even touched on in the play. I mean, none of the others were, but that's it's more like they chose things to avoid the big, deeper stuff. But with Toph, there's not a lot to avoid. I mean, it probably would have hurt her more if it showed her accurately and then showed her with her parents and that sort of thing. That probably would have put her in the same boat as everyone else, but it's just an interesting choice that they went with the concept idea of Toph, rather than keeping it in the same lines as everyone else, showing them at their very face value qualities. I mean, this is still a face value quality, but it's not in line with the rest of the other actors that were presented. It does make me wonder what they're going to do for Toph in the final, because again, she is the character with the least development, because she wasn't in season 1. That's what this half of the season has been doing. Catching up characters characters from season 1 with Zuko, getting them on a better page. I guess they haven't had to do that with Toph because she doesn't have that much connection with Zuko, and that can be stretched further in that she doesn't have as much connection and as much development as everyone else because she was introduced later. It's not a really bad thing because they've done an amazing job with Toph in just power, in just the uniqueness of her character, and in the development that we have gotten of her. But comparing her with the rest of the characters, she does not have as much going on as the rest of them. It does make me wonder what she'll do in the final, because she's got metal bending. I'd love to see her get a moment with that in the final, because I feel like that's it hasn't been left behind, but it's not used as much as I would want it to. I'd want that to be used constantly. I just hope that she gets a lot to do in the final, because I feel like she needs it. They've done so much with everyone else that Toph needs something. As for what's next then, I think I love that this episode basically gave them a premiere of what is to come. With Ozai versus Aang, Azula versus Zuko. I wonder if that's going to be very similar to the final, Of course, the ending hopefully won't be where they both die, but it'll be very interesting how accurate that is, that the writer's been able to predict that their scenarios will be those two fighting each other. That, I think, is the way it's going, because, of course, Zuko is choosing not to fight the Fire Lord. That means they'll be separated, but it didn't really show where the rest of the characters are. It's just a nice little hint to what the final battle will be. Of course, it's quite interesting. Since the whole play was the very surface level of everything, I would assume that can be carried over to the final as well. Is what we've seen a very surface level interpretation of what the final will be? Will it look like that Azula's won? Will it look like Ozai's won? Only for like a twist to happen or something else there? How accurate will the final be as a surface level look at what the final actually is? I would love that if that ends up being true. That Azula fights Zuko, it looks like the battle that has just taken place in the play, only when you look deeper, other stuff's happening. And of course, the ending will hopefully be different. It doesn't mean my mind start spinning so much, because I would love it if the writers are actually so good that they can look back at the other episodes and what they've done, present it in a really surface level, funny way, and then look at the stuff that they haven't yet put out there and actually do the same thing and tease it to their audience in a way where it looks funny, it looks depressing, but actually makes sense what's about to happen and actually makes the play itself look fun. Because I would love it if you could look back at the play and sort of watch it as the tale of Avatar, but as the sort of base value perspective. It'd be so much fun if this sort of final lines up with the actual final, but just very, very watered down. And of course, with a weird ending. But I think this episode was perfect for like going into the final now. It's so much fun. It captures the levity of the show, captures the fun and just lightness of it. And I think it's so... And it also captures the well-balanced tone of this show and how well it's been written. Dealing with sort of little character relationships while having something so overly fun and just enjoyable. I cannot wait to see what they're going to do for the final. It feels like a palate cleanser. Going from the invasion to some very serious episodes, world building, development, getting so much on so many characters. Now it's just gone super fun, super wacky, and now into whatever the final will be. I cannot wait. I feel like this has done such a good job. Overall, this is definitely one of my favourite, funniest episodes, but probably one of my favourite episodes overall, and that's just shocking that each episode has been getting better and better, and in so many different ways. I think this episode did a great job just with the details of what a pantomime is, just capturing all of that in the animation itself, and then just dealing with the character development, getting to view the characters and the story that we have seen so far in this fun way, and then also on top of that being able to balance developing relationships, doing all this, getting Zuko in better spots with Iroh, dealing with the Aang and Katara relationship, even the callback to, I'm assuming, what would be fan stuff. Because like with the Katara and Zuko relationship, I know that is a fan thing. So I love that they actually picked that out, and I'm assuming that would also be the thing with Jet and Combustion Man. Questioning whether or not they're actually dead and where it's not really clear. I love that they actually caught that out and sort of broken the fourth wall in a way, where that's clearly addressed to the audience with the way they've written the show. I cannot wait for the final. If it's anything like this, either serious or just light, I think it'll be incredible. This has just given me so much confidence in the writers and just so much respect and awe for them and just what they've been able to do. Doing this right before the final feels so weird, but it's done so well. And it's just made me so happy with whatever's going to happen. I feel like all the characters' storylines are going to be wrapped up. I feel like the storyline of the world is going to be wrapped up. And I feel like the conclusion is going to be satisfying. I feel like everything that I want is going to be done. And this whole episode has made me feel confident that I'm not going to be unhappy with anything. It feels like the writers fully know their story inside and out and know how to present it to the audience without flaw. I cannot wait to see what they do for the final and how this all ends up. And I think it's just going to be so, so, so incredible. So yeah, with that said, that does bring me to the end of this video, and I will see you in the next one for the final of Avatar. Now, I know I am going to split the episode in two. They'll both release on the same day. So it's just, I know the whole thing is like over an hour long. So if I include all of it, I'm going to have to cut it to shreds. So I'm going to have it in two parts, both released at the same time, just to include more of it. But yeah, with that said, I will see you next time for the final.